And so consciously breathing through the navel, breathing in mystery, breathing in all of these varying forms of divine energy that are carried within the breath, through all of the vital web lines, the divine web lines that converge, that meet at your navel, which flow into and form all of your internal organs, your body systems, your chakras, your body pathways, your subtle bodies, filling yourself with the breath. So you breathe, traveling within your consciousness to this optimal space, this space of divine transformational magic, in order to receive this healing, and taking your optimal position within that space. Just gently continuing to breathe through your navel, taking your space, your optimal position. Sometimes within life we find it challenging to take our space. And so to recognize that this is a space for you, is simply unconditionally offered, space that the divine is supporting you to take, to occupy, to anchor, to ground into. Often we consider it as being a kind of masculine quality, to take our space, to own it, to stand within it in life. And so this can also be considered as an aspect of this healing, an aspect of what it is to feel welcomed in life, welcomed to take your space here, to own it. Often we occupy positions within life that are not in alignment with the optimal expression of our life's path. Often we settle for occupying certain positions or relationships. And so this can also be considered as a kind of transformation of that, kind of reweaving of that, or remanifestation of that. This opening to take your place, to own your place here in life, which is also the expression of a focus of commitment to be here. Often within life we can enter into patterns of avoidance, of dissociation. And so this is also an opening into a kind of depth of presence, kind of willingness to show up. And so just resting into that, into what it is to show up for yourself, to take your place here in life, and to be supported within that by the divine, to feel that there is the support of the divine for you to take your place, to show up, to be here, to be present, even with that which at times it may be that you find yourself trying to avoid or hide from, even within relationship to those experiences within life where it is that perhaps you have felt unwelcome, haven't felt that there was a place for you to really fully allow yourself to be here, to show up. And so as you rest into this divine space that is being generated through grace, the space of pure transformational magic, just being aware now then of that holding, that support, and it coming in through your spine like a pillar or bridge, an anchor holding you. And feel the strength within that, the stability within that, depth of love and of power within that. And also a quality of deep compassion, of gentleness. Feel how it is that as you take your place, you are unconditionally and wholly welcomed exactly as you are. And as you take your place here, feel what it is to be here. This quality of presence, this quality of the freedom to be here, to meet life as it is. Feel the depth of love within that. This total unconditional openness. This total acceptance of the moment as it is. Feel the grace of God in that. And how that begins to arise now through the field of karma. The presence of that grace arises through all that needs to play out. The focus of your relationship with Father, focus of your relationship with the paternal line, how it is that that manifests through the ancestral field of your consciousness, or it is that that expresses and manifests itself through your genetics. Presence of grace and openness, unconditional acceptance or surrender, rising through the entirety of the field of karma. With this focus upon what is held by you, through your relationship with Father and the paternal line. And within all of that, this presence of mystery, this presence of divine transformational magic. Within that, this depth of an unconditional welcoming invites you to be here. You take your place. And just breathing consciously once again through the navel. Breathing into the field of karma. Being aware of how the breath becomes a vehicle through which divine presence flows into this field and rises within it in a deeper fashion. And just letting go into that, feeling that karma, letting go into this that arises through the breath as grace, as love, as divine transformational magic. And feeling this begin to build, to grow. Feeling a focus of divine light, divine consciousness, divine energy, divine intelligence, building through the field of karma, cracking through density, being aware of how the breath is a vehicle that supports this kind of cracking through layers of karmic density. How it is that the breath supports a certain kind of focus. How it is that the breath supports you to remain present with the process of what is taking place here, rather than to spin off into avoidance or disassociation. Very often when we encounter what is held through the karmic field, there can be this tendency to disassociate or avoid. So the breath here acts as a vehicle to support focus, to support bridging, to support the concentration of divine light, divine energy, divine intelligence, divine consciousness into what is held here, so that it can be illuminated, transmuted, transformed, released, awakened, so that we can bring the presence, the fullness of the mystery of love into that which is calling to be met by love. And so just remaining present with the breath, breath as a vehicle that supports this process that is now taking place. You can become aware of how within the breath there begins to form an innumerable number of spiraling focuses of divine light, the focus of an awareness of how the breath spins, spirals through the karmic field, And as the breath spins, spirals, moves, pulsates through this field, it condenses, it concentrates divine light, Shakti, into the field of karma, cracking through other layers of karmic density. Just have the sense of the breath moving deeper and deeper into the karmic field, moving through deeper and deeper layers of karmic density, of egoic identification, of separation consciousness, deeper and deeper layers of feeling cut off from love, cut off from the divine, cut off from your true nature, through focus of relationship with Father, with the paternal line, with what we would call masculine energy, feeling the breath full of Merlin's divine presence. This divine presence that expresses the quality of divine transformational magic. This magic moving through the karmic field, moving through these layers of density, breath acting to support the bridging of Merlin's divine presence, deeper and deeper through the karmic field, deeper and deeper into these areas of separation consciousness, and of egoic identification. Merlin's divine presence beginning to move into nooks and crannies, into hidden spaces within the karmic field, beginning to move into sub-layers, layers within layers, beginning to move into karmic glue, to release what is ripe at this time to release. And just letting go into that. Letting go through the breath. Breathing in your spine. Just resting with the focus of your awareness in your spine. A sense of the divine flushing through your spine. And the sense of all of this karmic density. It's held compacted within your spine, being flushed out. This movement of divine light coming through the spine, flushing out all of this karmic material, this density, putting space through your spine, the sense of you coming into that space, reality stepping into that space, divine coming into that space. Once the divine comes into that space, with the sense that it expresses a quality of pure fatherly love, masculine strength, power and compassion, deep wisdom and clarity. The truth of the masculine, awake to its true nature, free from conditioning. Sense of that moving through the body-mind, through the genetics, remanifesting, reweaving, focus of relationship that you hold with Father and the paternal line, the sense of God's presence, the truth of the masculine awake to itself, free from conditioning, stepping into all of that, reshaping that, reforming it. Presence of the divine is this truth of the masculine awakening to itself, stepping into every encounter that you have ever had with the masculine, reshaping, reforming that encounter. Just resting into that. It's a re-manifestation of the focus of your relationship with the masculine, with Father, the paternal line, your own masculinity, own masculine energy. Presence of the divine masculine, rising through that now, rising through every encounter you have had as an incarnational being with the masculine, remanifesting that, supporting you to open to recognize presence of divinity, presence of love within all of those encounters, presence of grace arising and supporting that, bridging you within a deeper fashion into that now. Presence of divine transformational magic arising, bridging you into that within a deeper fashion now. Presence of divine love arising, bridging you into that within a deeper fashion now. Presence of divine power arising, bridging you into that in a deeper fashion now. And just letting go into that. Letting go into this focus of a meeting with the masculine as love, as the divine, meeting with Father with the paternal line, as the divine, as love, opening to recognize your own masculinity, your own masculine energy, as the divine, as love. It's bridging through the genetics, through the ancestral field of your consciousness, through your psyche, bringing into a focus of manifestation through the genetics, the optimal expression of Father, being aware of that coming into manifestation now. Optimal focus of the expression of Father for you, rising through the genetics, through the body-mind, through the brain and nervous system. Feel this optimal focus of the manifestation of Father into alignment now with that aspect of your psyche that we refer to as being the inner child. Feeling the inner child open to what it is to be fathered, to what it is to be held by this optimal expression of Father, of masculine. Just rest into that, arising through the genetics, all of your body pathways, all of your organs, your body systems, your chakras, and through the brain and nervous system, and through cellular memory, and through fascia, connective tissue, bones, tendons, ligaments, through the digestive system, and through the spleen, the colon, reproductive, respiratory, and circulatory systems, moving through the lymphatic, the endocrinal systems, moving through the emotional body. Just resting here for a while. This focus of arising, this optimal expression of Father within the emotional body. Feeling that touch the heart, come through all chambers, all dimensions of the heart. Touch the core of the heart, that place within the heart that has most felt and focus of disconnection from the love of the Father. And is most felt separation from the Father, the masculine, the paternal line. This optimal expression of the Father, the masculine. Touch that place. Come into that place. Come into that place within the heart that has tried to manage that sense of an absence of the Father's love. Separation from that. Love of the Father, touch that. God's grace, touch that. Transform, transmute. Manifest, repattern, reweave. Multiple threads of reality that have constructed, given rise to the focus of your relationship with Father, with the masculine, being released, repatterned, remanifested, rewoven, rethreaded through the heart, through the assemblage point that sits there, and through the corresponding assemblage points within the core of the brain, the navel, and each cell. And just resting into this whole reorganization of reality in terms of how you experience Father, you experience the masculine, experience the maternal and paternal lines, and how they come together to give rise to your body, your unique set of genetics, and how it is then that you as an incarnational being incarnate into that unique focus of genetic expression, where you identify with your body, some divine transformational magic arising through that place in the heart. All of those streams, those threads of reality, where they converge and meet within the heart assemblage point, the navel assemblage point within the core of the brain, and within each cell. Weaving those threads, manifesting them, releasing them, bringing in optimal threads, organizing those threads within relationship to one another, integrating the inner child with this, a sense of resting into that now. Sense of integrating the inner child with what has shifted, recognizing how this integration also takes place through the genetics, and how it is that you are identified with mother and father in the level of the body-mind through the genetics. Dropping into this focus of integration, catching up the genetics and the inner child, what has shifted. Also releasing any focuses of identity with what has shifted. Divine, you need to further energize a whole system wheresoever it may most be needed in order to support this integration, in order to support catching up the inner child, the genetics, the ancestral field of consciousness to what has shifted. Other areas of the energy system beginning to be integrated, caught up to what has shifted. Brain and the nervous system, cellular intelligence fields, the life field, chakras, the luminous egg, core functional centers. It's resting into that. And also having the sense that as this integration, this catch-up is taking place, there's also a deepening in this focus of taking your place here. Pieces of a jigsaw puzzle coming together. Sense of various different aspects of your energy system, your psyche aligning, fitting together like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. all coming into harmony, into balance, into alignment with one another. Create the whole picture. Have the sense of those places where the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle come together. Those energetic interfaces between varying aspects of your energy system is being optimized. Interface between your consciousness and your body, consciousness and your brain, interface between your genetics and your energy system, interface between the spiritual heart and the heart, interface between the brain and the heart, interface between all of your energy pathways, organs and your cells. And have the sense of something somehow seemingly very far away coming back and integrating. Something that has seemingly been cut off from love, cut off from your heart, cut off from the masculine, cut off from Divine Father. The sense of that coming back and integrating. As that integrates, how it changes the whole system. Like somehow a piece of the jigsaw had been missing, and suddenly you found that piece of the jigsaw, that piece of the picture. It's come back and been put into place. I'm just going to spend a little while integrating. We'll call it that piece of the jigsaw for the sake of ease. We're just integrating and catching up the whole system in relationship to that. So I'm going to spend about a quarter of an hour doing that. In completion. As we do that, you can just rest within your spine. Sense of Merlin's divine presence in your spine. Sense of magic within your spine. A sense of letting go into your spine as magic, as Merlin. As you do so, Merlin will be facilitating this integration, this catch-up of this jigsaw or puzzle piece, your whole system. If you find it supportive, you can also be aware of the mantra Merlin in your spine, in the sense that this is not simply a word. This mantra, Merlin, is magic, is divinity. And then go into that. We'll just sit in silence for about a quarter of an hour of that. Meditating on Merlin's presence in your spine. This will bring us into completion. You find your mind wandering, just coming back to the mantra and your spine. Awareness of Melon's presence in your spine is magic. Just letting go into that as completely as you can, and then letting go a little more. Just letting go more so into the quality of magic in the mantra, in Merlin. Just resting more so into your tailbone now. Wow, Merlin's divine presence is magic there. Letting go into that. Where as we move into completion, Merlin is also bridging in anything else that may be required. Bringing this into manifestation as an expression of magic. Part of what Merlin brings in here is a blessing. Just receiving that blessing now. Feel that blessing coming into every cell. Breathe it into every cell. As you receive this blessing into every cell, brings us into completion. You can just sit for a little while longer, just breathing that blessing into every cell. And come back whenever you are ready. That's a be.